Remember the Charlie Brown comic strip, or really the movies, when Linus or Charlie Brown was at school and the teacher was talking, and the way they portrayed the teacher talking was
Wah 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 wah.
a perfect example of not active listening. Active listening.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
Oh yes, it's a challenge. So I spend most of my time when I'm talking to other people in a corporate environment. I'm in construction. It's very dynamic. We're kind of in each other's face. We're interrupting each other on a regular basis. Lots of type A personalities.
And that's very difficult for me to deal with. Getting interrupted is really breaks my chain of thought, and I just can't continue. It just drives me crazy.
And it was a struggle for me, just the short period of time that she was talking, not to interrupt her. It's just, it's the way people are in the industry that I work in, and I've been in the business many, many times longer than I've even known Leah.
So helping to understand our differences, that he is from that environment, really helps me. My biggest struggle with active listening is that I feel that when I speak, I'm always very clear, and I feel that I always am precise about what I'm saying, and I give my message succinctly, and then people come back and read between my lines and say, well, you meant this by what you said. I said, no, I didn't. I meant what I said. So that's been my challenge, to try to have the other person really understand what I've said.
Yeah, I was about ready to take a note because I thought Leah was going to continue for a little bit longer. Leah also has a soft voice. So, sometimes I flat out don't hear her. Or the typical guy thing, I'm watching TV and she tells me that we're leaving for a party or an event or something in 20 minutes, and I flat out didn't hear her because they were going for it on fourth down, and kind of like Charlie Brown.
So you have to be careful to make sure that you're understood. So in a difficult conversation, an uncomfortable conversation, we've adopted the idea of having a talking item. We discuss.
Talking stick is, if you want to Google it.
So this is our talking item, and the basic rule is, while you're holding the item, you get to talk, and the other person has to not talk. There's a big challenge with that, because as you see, he's thinking of something. So he's being very respectful of me because I'm holding the talking item and he's thinking of something. So to avoid interrupting me, he uses his notepad to write down his idea. Now, I saw him do that. I can continue with my thought and with my train of thought and finish making my point. Then I can say, okay, I see that you wrote down a note, so I'm going to pass the talking item and let you say what you thought.
Yeah, I tried to write, this was just an example, I just wrote down difficult. It's difficult for me, just who I am, the way my mind works, to listen to a long, drawn out diatribe. I don't want to say that insultingly, but, a long speech, a long flow of thoughts, a long flow of emotions. And if I think of something and I know I'm not allowed to do the but, which is one of those words you're not supposed to use in interpersonal communications, but I think you get the point. I just put down a real quick note. Now, we have not used this. We've done it in playing card games and things like that. But if you do have one of you that just goes on and on and on and on, a simple thing like a sand timer from a game could, if necessary, I strongly recommend not to do this because it's kind of insulting, but hey, it could work. Now, Leah just put down her finger, which is her way of saying, oh, I got a thought. I don't want to lose it.
So I take my thought and I pin it either on the table or sometimes I pin it to my leg. Depending on where I am, I take my thought and I pin it. Kind of like what happened in Harry Potter where Dumbledore would take his thoughts out of his head. Google that too if you don't know it. Shame on you if you don't know it. So I take my thought and I pin it. And then he can continue with whatever it is he's talking about. And my thought is pinned here. So I can then actively listen to what he's saying. And then he can either give me the candle back, or somewhere where he's explaining, he's continuing with his explanation, he could answer this thought I have here. So I can just unpin it and continue listening because he answered it. So I don't have to then say anything. He can just keep going, or he can pass me the candle and I can make another point about whatever it is we're talking about.
So one of the techniques that I learned in some of the corporate seminars I've been to in the past is try to repeat what the person just told you in your own words to make sure that you understand and that he or she understands or said what they thought they said is what you heard. I forgot how they put that, but
I think you said it right.
So, for instance, now you're referring to Harry Potter, the movie with the guy with the long hair, that kind of the headmaster or something like that, who magically puts a thought somewhere. Okay. Just bad example, but you get the point. Anything else on this session? I think we're good. Try to listen. It's the hardest thing in the world to do. We all want to get our point across. Don't be thinking about your comeback while you're listening to your spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend or sister or whatever. Try to, and it's hard, try to listen to what they are actually saying. And if you have to write a note or pin something on your leg with your index finger, do that. But try your best not to interrupt. I think we're done.
Thanks for watching our video. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up right down here. Next to that is the subscription icon for letting us know you want to subscribe to our channel. And the bell icon next to that will let us give you a notification when we've published a new video. If you want to watch another video, a link is right over here. And I think Faith wants her treat. Good girl. Thanks.